Morning guys, I'm doing a bit of landscape photography today. I'm at one of my favourite locations for moving water in Essex. I've got a couple of weirs here, so there's a weir sort of just in the foreground, sort of over here, and then right in the background, don't know if you can see it, there's another weir, and yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. So I want to do lots of moving water. Now it is quite sunny at the moment, which for this shot that I've just got lined up is a good thing. Normally I wouldn't shoot moving water when it's sunny, and I'm hoping when I get closer to the moving water over the other side of the water, then it's going to cloud over a little bit, so I've got that soft low contrast light. But at the moment I'm shooting more of a landscape shot with the water as my foreground really. So I've got this weir over here in the foreground, and then in the midground there's a really nice old dead tree, and then right in the background there's the second weir. So it's looking really nice, and the reason I'm shooting it today, and as I say, in brighter lighting conditions, is because this is a landscape shot and I want a nice blue sky in the background, and it's also a really good way to test out the dynamic range of my Z6 II, because it's a newer camera, the Z6 II, when I compare it to my old D800 Nikon, which is about 10 years old now. So I'm hoping the dynamic range, and in fact it is proving the case, the dynamic range of this new sensor is much better. So it enables me to get detail in the bright areas of the picture, so those sort of foamy areas of water, and then the dark tree sort of areas, the dark shadowed areas of the trees in the background. And even though that the lighting is quite bright and contrasty, I'm getting a full range of tones, and this is what my new cameras enable, making it possible for me to do. So it's really good. So I'll quickly talk you through the composition. I think it's too bright to show you on the back of the screen, but I've got this weir in the foreground, as I say, and then I've got on the left hand side I've got a dead tree, which is a really nice mid-ground point of interest, and then in the background I've got another weir with a bit of moving water, and there's a channel of water that sort of leads you around the picture as well. And I've taken various compositions from the right hand side of me to here, right in the corner, and then actually up on the little bridge which you walk over to get to the second weir, and it varies the amount of foreground water. So I'll put 2 or 3 of these pictures up, and then I'll talk you through the composition once I've got the pictures back at home on a computer screen. But yeah, at the moment it's looking great. I'm shooting not super slow. I'm on about 1/8 of a second, so it gives me a little bit of blurred movement in the foreground, but not too much. I'm on f16, so I've got a big depth of field, and it's all looking good. Now, when I'm shooting moving water like this, and the conditions are bright, it's particularly important to keep an eye on the histogram. So I'm making sure that I've not got any overexposure or any underexposure. So that's the first shot in the bag. Now I'm going to walk over the bridge and get closer to the water, and then really home in on the moving water. And there is some cloud around in the sky, which is great for my landscape shot, and I'm hoping when I start doing the pictures that are a bit closer, more focusing in on just the movement, the sun will dip behind the cloud, and I've got a bit more low contrast light, softer light, and that will work really well for that type of shot as well. So yeah, bye for now, and I'll speak to you soon. Here's the edited picture, and I've only put the one up because moving a few feet from one side to the other didn't massively change the composition, only slightly, so I thought we'd concentrate on the one shot. So we've got the weir in the foreground, creating our foreground interest, and then as we move into the picture, we've got the tree, the old dead tree, on the left hand side, and I've put it on the left third of the frame, so I'm using rule of thirds. And then if you look to the opposite side of the frame, on the right hand side, we've got this lovely S-shaped channel of water, and that leads us through to the background, and that second weir that's sitting in the background part of the frame. So I think it's quite a well balanced composition. It's got a big depth of field, so the picture's sharp from the front of the picture to the back. So I think all in all I didn't leave a lot of room for the sky, because the sky was okay, but it's not the most important part of the shot here. It's all about the 2 weirs and leading from one weir to the other. So yeah, all in all I think it's a well balanced composition with a big depth of field, so we've got front to back sharpness and all the elements are needed to make this shot work. I'm a lot closer to the weir now, and I'm going to make my way out onto these rocks here. It's a bit tricky, they're really slippery, not the ideal place to be taking a camera, so I wouldn't advise people to do this, but I'm going to just be a bit stupid but also very careful. I don't mind going in the water, but obviously I don't want my camera going in the water, so I'm going to run down to about here. Now I don't know if the framing of the video, I framed it up right, because I'm not going back again to change it, because I'm out here now. So let's have a look. Now the reason I want to be right out on these rocks is because this weir is almost like a triangle shape, and I want to be right at the front, or the apex of the weir. So I've got running water to the left of me, running water to the right of me, and then I've got another little weir in the background. So it's like a double weir, this one. But shooting from this point is fantastic because you're right on the point of that waterfall, and triangles are really good competition with. So I'm going to really watch my footing here, get my tripod up nice and solid, and just see how we go. Now it is still quite sunny, so we're going to test the dynamic range of this sensor to its limit, I should think. If the picture's any good, obviously I'll put it on the video. I've also taken a similar shot to this years ago in really cloudy conditions, so maybe I'll put both of the shots up, and you can have a look at the difference between shooting moving water in quite strong sunlight, although there's some cloud coming in. If that comes in, that'll be really good, or very bright conditions. So I'm going to sort out the composition now, and I'm just going to leave the video running because I'm not walking all the way back to my vlogging camera and leaving this camera on its own near all this moving water. So we'll see how we go. Right, just want to move over a little bit to about here without falling over, would be ideal. God, this is really awkward, really tricky, but I think it's going to be worth it. So move this over, move this round, just adjust and straighten up, level up the shot. God, I can't really find anywhere to stand, but still we'll see how we go. That's it, that's not too bad. Right, okay, so we've got that in now. I haven't got much sky in the shot. This is all about the water and the movement. Focus on the weir, that's good. I'm on around about 1/8 of a second, and I'm looking at the histogram, making sure that it's not overexposes, which I don't think it is actually. Now, I normally use a remote release, but I've left it in the bag, and I'm not going back again. So I'm going to put this on self-timer so I don't get any shake when I press the shutter button. So 10-second self-timer, we'll see how we go. Ten seconds seems a long time when you're waiting for the shutter to fire, but I think that should be it. Yeah, that's looking really nice. That's looking nice. So I will definitely put this shot up on the video, and I will also put the one up that I shot, well, probably a few years ago actually. It's been a while since I've done this location. Oh, the sun's going behind the clouds, so this might be even better. I might be able to do actually one in the sunlight and one in the clouds while I'm standing here. That would be really good. So fingers crossed. So the light's dropping. So obviously I'm doing the manual exposure, so I'll need to adjust my shutter speed if the light level drops a little bit, but that's okay. It'll be interesting to see what I've actually got on my vlogging camera, because I don't know if it's framed up well or not, but we'll see. Come on cloud, just drop beyond that. Now the light levels have dropped a little bit, but there's still some directional sunlight, so I'm going to take a shot now. And there's quite a lot of cloud just coming in, so fingers crossed we'll get total cloud in a minute, which will be great. just check this one. Yeah, that's looking nice. I'm going to move slightly over, I think, if I can, do it safely. So, I've changed my composition to give me more of a line down this weir here. I've still got the line going on the left, but I've got a better line on the right hand side. As I say, the sky, there's not much in the sky because this is all about the water. So just waiting for the cloud to come in again, drop that light down a little bit and we'll see how we go. Yeah, I'm going to have a little bit more foreground, I think, so I'm going to tilt the camera down a bit more. And I'm also going to bring the camera up a little bit, so I see a little bit more of the top of this weir as well, because I think that'll be quite nice. So we'll tilt this up a little bit. Raise the tripod a bit. Hopefully we can find a nice stable area. Yep, that's looking good. Straighten this up, move my composition around a little bit. Yeah, I think that's nice actually. Focus on the weir again. Just bring that over slightly, level it up. Yep, that's good. Okay. Sun is just dropping behind the clouds, which is nice. We're getting some soft lighting, which will reduce the contrast in this picture. Yeah, I like that, it's good. That's really nice actually. Really nice. So it's definitely better when the lighting is softer in these overcast, slightly overcast conditions now. So while I've got the soft lighting, I'm going to keep shooting. I'm going to spin the camera around and shoot along this way a bit more as well. Oh yeah, that's great. So now I've got basically a diagonal line just coming across the frame. So we'll take that before the sun pops out again. Yeah, fabulous. Really nice. Bring it down. And I'm still on about an eighth of a second, which gives me a nice bit of blurred water, but a little bit of texture in the water as well. So I don't need it to be super slow, because this water's moving quite quickly, and I'm quite close to it actually. Oh yeah, that's really nice. Really, really nice. Okay. And we'll spin it round again. Bring that up slightly, move that over, and I think this will be the last shot in the bag, and then I'm going to make my way back across these really slippery rocks and get my camera safely onto proper dry land. So let's have a quick look at that. Yeah, lovely, really good. Yeah, the difference between the bright lit waterfall or weir and the softer light is quite striking actually. So last one, let's just drop this right the way down, and I'm cutting the sky out completely now because it is all about the moving water, and it will take a couple of shots with no sky, but just the weir and the water. Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. Do the same on this side. Just refocus, and away we go again. Yeah, lovely. One more. I actually hit the playback button before the picture was taken, so there's a good chance that that last picture had a bit of camera shake, so I'm going to retake that one. But this is great. Moving water, soft lighting conditions when I want them, and a fantastic weir. My favourite weir in the whole of Essex, I think. And I love the sound of moving water. It's just so relaxing. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, that's looking great. So, let's get back to dry land. Ooh, wow, this is really tight. This really is quite tricky, quite nasty. Very, very slidey underfoot. Wouldn't mind if I didn't have a camera on a tripod in my hand, but you know, sometimes you have to do these things, but I'm not encouraging anybody else to do this, because the last thing you want to do is have an accident and either injure yourself or break your camera. So this is just me and what I wanted to do today. Right, that's it, back on dry land. That's the next part of the shoot in the bag. Really pleased with that. So yeah, good stuff. I'm back on dry land, which is great, and now what I'm going to do next is concentrate on getting some close-ups of moving water. So I've got my zoom lens on, 24 to 70, and I'm at the 70mm bit at the moment, and I'm zoomed in on just the corner of that weir, and it's just about the flowing water coming over the weir. So I think when you're doing a shoot like this, it's important to get the wider shots, because they look fantastic, but it's also important to get in close and just concentrate on just the movement and the shape that moving water is making. So almost like abstracts, really. I'm still on an 1/8 of a second, because that's fast enough to give me blurred water, and I don't want to freeze the motion of the water, I want it to be blurred. And I'm just going to wander around now and take lots of different close-ups. You know, close-ups on this side, over there's some boulders just sticking out of the water. So then I'll probably put my 70 to 200mm lens on and zoom in on that movement as well. But look, it's been absolutely brilliant. It's really nice today as well. I've still got my little ruffler on here, but it's really warm and I'm going to have to start taking off layers. And this is the first time I've worn my tilly hat. So up to now, this year, it's been my woolly hat on every single shoot that I've done. This is the first time the tilly's come out, so it must mean that summer and spring is on its way. So that's good, isn't it? All good. So yeah, I'd just like to say, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have enjoyed it, if you can give it a like and thumbs up, that would be great. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, if you can consider subscribing, that would be really great as well, more the merrier. And if you do subscribe, press the little bell icon and you should be notified when my next video is uploaded. So again, I'm going to keep an eye on the histogram, make sure I don't get any overexposure, but the light's nice and soft now, so it means the contrast is lower and there's less likelihood of that. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now. I've just put my 70 to 200mm zoom lens on, because what I want to do now is I want to close in on the detail, so create some almost abstract shots of the moving water. I've just done the weir, where you've just seen the weir, but I've come in close from the land, so I'm on dry land now, which is great, don't have to worry about the camera. And I've closed in and I've done some shots right on the corner of that weir from the side, and they look really nice. And now, over that side, I've got some rocks just sticking out the water. So I'm going to use the longer zoom, the 200mm bit. I'm going to zoom in on that movement. I've got movement around the rocks. And again here, it's really important for me to wait until the sun pops behind the cloud, which it is at the moment. Because I'm shooting towards the sun here and the light will be really contrasty, and that's the last thing I want. I'm on a 1/4 of a second exposure. So I've slowed the exposure down a little bit because I want a bit more movement, and the water's not moving as quickly as this bit. It's moving more slowly around the rocks, and I want that nice silky movement, but with still a bit of texture in the water. So 1/4 of a second. Obviously camera's on the tripod because it's slow shutter speed. I've got the remote release or cable release this time, so I don't add any camera shake by pressing the shutter button. I'm waiting for the sun to pop in, and the sun's just behind the cloud now, so I hit the shutter button, have a quick look at that. Yeah, that looks great. I'll check the histogram, make sure I've got no overexposure, which I haven't, so that's all good. So yeah, that's about it really. I've had a cracking morning, some bright conditions early on for the more landscaping shot, and then it did cloud over, or the cloud is, the sun's coming in and out of the cloud, which is giving me the soft light, which in all honesty is much better for moving water, especially when you're doing just the moving water. So it's been all great. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you on my next video. So bye for now, guys.